expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Coming up on today's show, we'll get a preview of a festival highlighting media in the hands of our people. And plus, we'll get a taste of a simple and sustainable Indian cooking. Ooh, you're going to love it. We're going to try it. You can try this at home, too, if you want to. We'll show you how. And trainer Tracy Knott is here. He's going to be doing jumping jacks, sit-ups, and the whole nine. And he got a small group circuit workout for us. We'll show you what he's going to be doing with that. So stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way right here on Open. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open, the one and only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We got a great show lined up for you today, but first let's check in our resident DJ Vince Bracey on the sick ones and twos. How you doing?
Diggity, Dr. Bob Lee.
Yeah, how was your weekend, man? It was a
cool.
beautiful one, I know that.
Had a great time this weekend.
Yeah.
How about you, sir?
I had a great time. My daughter graduated from Hampton University.
Oh, congratulations.
She's out of the military. She's a veteran out of the Navy.
Wow.
And she was in the medical field. She was into dentistry, and then she went back and got into, another form of medicine. And I think she wants to go on and become a doctor, but she graduated at Hampton. And
you must be so proud. Congratulations.
What? I was crying.
I wanted to be a doctor, a dentist actually at one point also, but
Oh, look at that.
DJ.
I can see that.
Maybe one of the days.
I can see that.
I went to Howard University. That was my rival at one point.
I can see that. A dentist with a cigar, drilling teeth in the person's lap.
Mixing with the 8-track player.
Yeah, and then my other daughter, she sang the national anthem at the Bronx Ball.
Really?
Bronx Week culminated this weekend.
Bronx Week, yeah, we just finished it out. It was a great time. BronxNet cameras covered it, so you'll probably see some footage at some point. Swiss Beats and a number of other people were awarded by the Bronx, and they're going to be inducted into they were inducted into the Bronx Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So you got to give Michael Maxnabi a big round of applause for getting
Michael
involved in all this stuff. Our executive director, yes indeed. And also, Ruben Diaz Jr., the Bronx Borough president, responsible for putting a lot of the stuff together, him and his staff, and all the people that got involved in Bronx Week.
Yes.
Everybody, you guys did a fantastic job, as always.
Definitely. We're very grateful that we have something like that.
That Bronx Ball was like, off the hook.
It was beautiful.
So you got people celebrating birthdays?
Yes, I got a few birthdays today.
Happy birthday to you and many more if you are celebrating.
We got I got Andre the Giant who passed away, the wrestler. Andre the Giant, and also Malcolm X, the late Malcolm X.
He was born on this day. Yeah.
Yes. Basketball players. I got Kevin Garnett and Mario Chalmers.
Yeah.
From the Heat, who lost horribly.
Ooh,
not horribly, but
they took a
it was
beating.
pretty bad.
You think somebody said, well, they were just testing out the waters, the first game and everything.
I don't know.
They played Indiana, right?
Yeah, the Pacers. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people lost money on that game.
Well, the series is not over. This is game one.
No, definitely not. That was just the first game.
Game two coming up. We'll see what happens. Who's going to win the series? Who's going to win the whole thing?
The whole thing? I'm not the biggest Heat fan, but I feel like they have what it takes. I mean, everybody loves LeBron, so.
Well, you know who's going to make some money if they hit that three-peat.
Who's that?
Who came up with three-peat? Shout it out. Who came up with three-peat? Coach who? Coach Riley.
Coach Riley came up with three-peat.
Yeah.
The term, did he copyright it?
Everything.
Okay.
So if they use that three-peat thing again, then, he makes a whole lot of money.
I like that. We'll have to copyright some stuff.
Yeah, you get into it. Well, you got some good music for us?
Of course, all the time, Bob.
Sick. Vince on the ones and twos. Give another big round of applause, everybody. All right, we got to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll get a preview of People's Film Festival. But first, let's take a good look at the Pelham Bay park fundraiser that took place. Check it out.
Friends of Palm Bay Park and New York City Parks Recreation are promoting this year at their annual fundraiser event the educational program called Gardening for Children with Special Needs.
Today we're having the 5th annual fundraiser with the Friends of Pelham Bay Park, and tonight we're raising money for the sensory garden programming in the park.
There are not enough opportunities for children who have some kind of disability, so it's very important for us to do this. And the park is so large and such a great facility and has so many opportunities for kids to learn about the environment, to get to see and touch nature. So we think it's great.
Tonight's event highlights the sensory garden programming. The sensory garden was set up within the Playground for All Children, which is right by Bruckner Boulevard. It allows children with special needs to experience nature through special plants that allow them to smell and feel as opposed to necessarily seeing. There's wheelchair-level areas where they can garden. And our garden educator, Han, has such a demand for the classes that there is a waiting list.
For the last 5 years, we've been running hands-on gardening program with kids with various disabilities. And what we learned very quickly is that whether the kids are deaf or have ADHD or autism, they respond very well to a garden setting. It calms them. It allows them to explore various ways that's very different from the classroom setting. And they get used to working with plants in an outdoor setting. They become comfortable handling worms even, and looking at snails and watching squirrels. They get better at with their dexterity when they plant the plants or to water. So there's all these different ways that we're trying to sort of support kids learning in a less conventional way. And for that reason, we feel it's important to continue this effort.
Tonight's speakers highlighted the importance of helping children with disabilities connect with nature.
We're here tonight to raise money for the educational gardening program that takes place in Pelham Bay's Sensory Garden. Thanks to funding from the Hagdorn Foundation and from New York City Environmental Fund, the Friends worked with parks staff to build the garden in 2007. The Sensory Garden was one of the signature projects that we collaborated on, and we continue to work together each year to obtain funding to support the quality programming there.
Community leaders gathered at this fundraising event to encourage others to help support children with special needs. I'm Madeline Rodriguez reporting for BronxNet Television.
I love being in classrooms like this one and learning new things. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I know school can be hard. It's demanding, and we kids have many distractions, lots of other things we could be doing. Sometimes even your friends may tell you that school isn't cool, that it isn't the place to be. Don't listen to them. There's nothing more important than education. It's the key to everything else. It helps us understand our world and be better people, better friends, and better citizens. So stay in school, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or smart enough. Be a star, shine brighter than anyone else, and you'll make the grade.
This has been a public service announcement of the Make the Grade Foundation. Go to makethegrade.org to learn more. There you go. Hey, welcome back, everybody. You know, on May 29th, the 3rd Annual People's Film Festival will take place. It's going to be nice. And joining us to share more about this empowering event is founder and executive director Veronica Kitt.
Yeah.
Welcome you to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So you're part of the film festival.
Actually, I started the film festival.
You started the film festival.
Yes. Founder.
Yeah.
Yes. I started it. This is our 3rd year. We started. I came up with the concept of doing a film festival as a result of my background in public media, utilizing these networks, BronxNet, public access, commercial lease access, to tell my story. And I've been producing independently for quite a few years.
So does she change history to history?
Basically,
her story.
I like that. And
Her
so,
story.
yeah. But you know what's so interesting? It's like through my travels all over. I've been to Africa twice, and Malaysia, and of course the islands and everything. But what I found is that there are stories all over the world that we identify with, that we want to hear, and that we should have access to. And so I said, well, you know, and then of course what we do with as independent producers, I produce 365 Days of March in the Amadou Diallo story. You know, Amadou was shot 41 times here in the Bronx, and so I have film credit behind. You know, I've done a lot of mini episodes and things like that. But I said, okay, well, what do we do now? Where do we go? Let's take it to the next level. Let's take it to the big screen. And so we decided to do the People's Film Festival. There's a lot of films that are out there that probably will never be seen or have been saw, you know, but we all haven't seen these films. We all haven't. And so we would like to, you know, view them and have access to them.
So how did you come up with the name
People's
Film Festival?
Interesting, because of the background. Like I say, my camera is my voice. And so when I'm out there, I'm shooting, I'm documenting.
Is that the love of your life, that camera?
Just like this.
Yeah.
And that's why I got a shoulder, a repetitive stress injury right about now.
Do?
Yeah. But yeah, so my camera is my voice. And so basically when we decided to do this, I kept saying the people united, because I'm thinking about sharpening, will never be defeated. I said, no, you can't. That's too long for a film festival. We can't do that. And then one of my partners, he was like saying, just say the peoples. And I was like, wow, it is the people. It is the
James
people.
Brown. Let the people say.
There you go. And it is about us. And the most important thing, because, you know, we have the Sundance and the Tribecas and the Torontos, and these are great film festivals. But a lot of us will not have access or get into those festivals. So where do you go? Come to the People's Film Festival. One of the things, one of our criteria we change is based on how we view, consume media, and how we also shoot. Like when you think about the different cameras and even your cell phone, you can shoot a film with your cell phone. It's the HD camera. And so when we think about that and how we produce as independent producers, let's open those doors. Let's create, let that be a criteria. And then also one of the things that we do is take the film and attach them to the community in some form. Like there's a film called Control. It's about a young man that was arrested, and he spent 2 years of his life, 16-year-old, 2 years of his life battling, trying to prove his innocence. And so what we did with the filmmakers is attach them to organizations within the community, Discovery for Justice, Bronx Neighborhood Defenders. We attach them to these entities because after you show your film at a festival, where do you go? What happens? It sits on a shelf? No,
where
it
do
should
we
have
go
life.
From here?
Yeah. And so that's what we did with our film festival. And then also another aspect is some of the films are music related. Now, you had Black Ivory on your show one time. Interesting is that one of the films that came across this year is called Monster. Monster is amazing. It's like The Walking Dead when you see it. If anybody's familiar with that. But the music is what grabbed us. And at the end it said Leroy Burgess. I'm like, oh my God, that's his son.
Isn't that?
Yeah, and he's performing. So what we also did was we opened up a stage. We're doing after party at Savannah's, and he's going to perform. Along with several other people that will be performed. Hal Madden Perry, that's his name, Hal Madden Perry. He is a blues legend, and he's going to perform. And we have DJ DST, Grandmaster DST, and he got that, he got the was it Grammy with Herbie Hancock? Rocket? Yeah. So he's going to be one of the DJs. We got DJ Little Ray, doing house music. So it's going to be interesting. So we open up the doors, and I'm just...
And this is at the festival. Where does the festival take place and when? Okay,
so opening night is May 29th, and it's going to be at the Magic Johnson Theater. We're showing...
Uptown in Harlem.
In Harlem. March of the Guards, Botswana Metalheads. African musicians that do metalhead music.
Metalhead music.
I mean, like really. I mean, you know how
none
sometimes
of those characters in the movie or the play follow the Yellow Brick Road or
no.
Wizard of Oz.
And a lot of times people say, metalhead, are you sure they don't have the drummer? There's no rhythm. No, it's straight up wah wah. You know, that metalhead music.
Right.
And so I think that was very interesting. And that's one of the things that we do. We try to bring in films that are very unique and very interesting.
But what makes it so unique?
I think it's because it's not typically associated with African music. We generally hear the drum, but we're seeing the guitar. But there's a foundation in all of our music that is rooted in Africa.
Yeah.
And so therefore...
Stemming from the drum.
Exactly. So therefore, I can see it being a natural transition for them and just anyone in general. So, but that's one of the things that make it so interesting. And then the other thing that the filmmaker brought out was, who are these people? What is their background? And what led them to do metalhead music? And the filmmakers are from Greece.
Wow.
So they came to Africa.
Any shorts?
We have quite a few shorts. And as a matter of fact, one of BronxNet's very own, Sandra Nixon, her film called Manny Petty. Very funny. You guys are going to love it. And then also we're going to revisit Gully by Roderick Giles, who is one of the instructors here. So, but we have quite a few shorts.
I have a short in my mind that I
What?
You want me to say it live on the air?
Well, you know what? Maybe you want to, because you know, intellectual property. Let's hold it. Yeah. You don't want nobody to take that idea. It might be a great idea. Unless,
my hand is going. I'm like ready to get it out there. I think it'll be very funny and very interesting.
That should be good. Well, you know, that's my first love. I am an editor at heart, a producer, director, predator. That's what they call them.
You're a predator?
Well, that's what they call them. A producer, editor, predator. You know, it's just one of those
I understand.
Industry terms. And maybe I shouldn't say that. It doesn't sound right. But that's my first love. So I love producing films. I love shooting. I love editing. And I love listening to other people's stories. I want to hear, I want to see, I want people to come through and share those stories. The interesting thing is that, like last year, we had a film from the Philippines called Calruran, and it was about a man that was being evicted. He had nowhere to go. And when you juxtapose that to New York City, there was a film, El Barrio Tours, by Andrew Padilla, and basically he was talking about gentrification in East Harlem. The interesting thing is that this man is saying, where am I going to go? But in East Harlem, they're saying, I'm not going nowhere. Same story, same backdrop.
Yes,
but
different place.
Right, and a different reaction in how they choose to seek justice and empower themselves. And so we love these stories. And the world is so big, but these stories we all can identify with. And I think that we should all have access to them. And so that's why we said, let's do this film festival. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I got tickets for you.
You are bringing it to us, right?
Yes.
What does the ticket say?
I have tickets for you. The March of the Gods, I have 4 tickets for you. I don't know what you want to do with them. But I would love for you to come out.
Call me now, 212. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, that's going to be nice. It's going to be a reception. And then we'll show the film, and it'll be a Q&A afterwards with the filmmaker. And then also, after that, everyone is going over to Savannah's on 116th Street and 8th Avenue, and there's an after party. Yeah. But the youth event, I would love for people to come out. The one that I was talking about, the young man, the film is called Control.
Yes.
And afterward, we're having a panel. It's called Take Control. And basically, they're going to talk about knowing your rights. It's going to be a group of individuals that will be there talking about criminal justice advocates, the filmmakers, even some of our very own here in the Bronx. I don't know if you are familiar with the Black Spades, Tiny and Chocolate.
Of course.
They will be there in the audience to talk about certain things for these young people. And I think it's so important for us to hear this. No, it's not just knowing your rights. It's also being proactive, because one of the things of knowing your rights is the push to for open discovery. If you get arrested, basically, if you have all of that information that you need in front of, beforehand, it will prevent you from copping pleas and deals and making, you know, like this.
Get the knowledge, get the information of what to say,
instead
how
of
to act,
right,
how to be.
or sitting up in jail or going back and forth for 2 years of your life knowing that they have nothing. Open discovery. So that's the discussion that's going to be on the table. And it's a free event. It's open to all to come out. I hope everyone comes out.
Magic Johnson Theaters, March of the Gods. You know, I opened this theater with Magic Johnson. I interviewed him right up there and everything. Me and Dougie Fresh.
Wow.
And really good time. You know, it was the only place at the theater at the time that served shrimp. In the movie theater.
I was
indeed.
I was so surprised when I first went there and they had curly fries and popcorn chicken too.
Yeah. Was it popcorn shrimp?
Shrimp too? Yes. Isn't that amazing? Yes. So that's one of the beautiful things of going up in there.
So what are we going to expect? Give me a one.
So opening night, doors open at 5:30. People will come in, and you know, there'll be a reception. We have a few vendors there, like Seasoned Vegan is it's a vegan restaurant, but natural. The food is amazing. Groovy Juice, they'll be there, and these are samples that you'll be with spirulina. It's like a natural. Juice.
You ever tried Groovy Juice?
Groovy Juice, yes. Yeah, GRUVI. Yeah. And so there'll be a reception with a few people, and then everyone will go inside. They'll watch the film. It'll be a Q&A afterwards, and it'll be a red carpet. Come and walk the red carpet and
you gotta
take
walk
some
there.
pictures
if
there.
You've never walked the red carpet, you got to do it right there.
Exactly. But it should
so lots
be
of wonderful films are going to be shown this day. 25
films, 6 different countries. Last year we had over 36 films, 9 different countries, and it's a 4-day period. It's from Thursday to Sunday, and it's going to be a nice little lineup. And I hope everybody comes out and check out these films.
All right. Where can we go to get more information on what you're doing?
You can go to thepeoplesfilmfestival.com and check out the lineup. Check out the after party lineup, because we have the People's Showcase with a lot of different people coming out and performing. Not just his name is Mr. O2, but it's going to be quite a few people performing for that after party event, and then the DJ
out. It's gonna be nice.
all night to 4 a.m. Party.
All right.
It's gonna be
Thank
good.
you so much. Give a big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you very, very much for coming by and sharing that with us.
So
the annual People's Film Festival. Veronica Keep.
Yes.
All right. Founder, Executive Director of the People's Film Festival. You know, we got some spices coming up in a little while. We got to take a quick break right here, though. But we got the taste of Indian spices you won't want to miss. I'm salivating right now. First, let's take a good look at the Bronx Art Program. Check it out.
So today is the kickoff of our What is Art program, which is pairing artist Daniel Hobein, the Andrew Friedman Gallery, and the Mid-Bronx Head Start downstairs. So all the children in the Head Start, all 240 children, can experience the gallery, create an art piece, and then have an exhibition and actually meet the artist who created all these paintings.
I like all the paintings. I want to bring Mommy over here.
The kids were great. They really expressed a lot of interest in the subject. I've chosen to work with a subject that perhaps is less obvious. You know, the Bronx is not everybody's first thought when you think about beauty. In some ways, the role of the artist to remind everybody else that they are creative people too. Picasso said everybody's an artist, just most people forget about it at a certain point in their life. So these kids are all little artists, and this was wonderful to, share my work as an artist with the community and with children of all ages.
I think the kids were really amazed. Many of them had never seen paintings this big or even had been up to this gallery before. We'd just like them to express themselves and learn about themselves, the Bronx, and the world around them.
great event. This is what it's all about. Today we're celebrating our school, our students, our CTE auto program. A great day. Thank you for all these cars that came out to support us and all the community. So really happy looking to make this a tradition at our school.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Oh boy, we got it in store for you. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for aura and beer. Our next guest is an accomplished chef who specializes in simple, sustainable Indian cooking. She joins us today to share more about her work and some recipes, too. You may want to get a pen and paper and write some of this down. We welcome Rinku Bhattacharya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
I see you have a little bullet here that you grind it up. And
it's actually a coffee grinder.
It's a
and
coffee
it works,
grinder.
Yes.
It works just the same.
Yes, it's gotten so much spices, so it looks kind of, well,
Yeah. So you have
retro.
all kinds of spices here. These come from all over the world or mainly from India?
You can find them all over the world, but I do use them mostly for Indian cooking. And actually what I've organized here are the spices for a very common spice plant. We call it garam masala. It's a fragrant spice plant.
Ah, can I just tilt this a little bit?
Absolutely.
If I can tilt this, what camera can grab that? If you can see that, boy, we got some spices in here. Look at that. Now I recognize this one right here. When you're done eating and you leave the restaurant, you can take some and.
Actually, no. That's
This is
fennel.
not the one?
No, that's fennel. This is its very close cousin, but it's cumin.
Oh,
this is whole
okay.
cumin seeds.
Oh, I thought it was like the mint.
Yeah.
It
is. That's very similar, but it's pale green in color. So that's fennel. This is cumin.
Okay. I know what this is.
I hope so. And
This is something. This is.
that's cinnamon.
Ah, cinnamon. You ever taste this? This is good. This is good stuff. Some people grind that and put it in all kinds of
Yes,
things.
absolutely. I mean, I just have it whole. See here when we'll do this. So I have cinnamon. These are cloves.
Cloves.
This is cardamom. This is green cardamom, which actually before you use it in a spice blend, you kind of open up the pod. You have the seeds, and they kind of get sort of.
So you don't. You just throw the pod to the side. You just
You
use
throw
the
the
seeds.
pods. Actually, you know what, the pod is very good for.
You can throw the pod in there also?
No, not in this, but you can use it to steep tea.
Oh.
And you get, very fragrant tea. I mean, a lot of the chai blends.
Oh,
actually.
that one jumped by itself. Did you see that?
Well,
like
it's
a
very
jumping bean. You saw it?
excited. It knows it's on TV.
Yeah.
So.
There was something in there that made that jump.
Okay.
And which one is that? Looks
This
like a
is
star.
called, yes, it's called star anise.
Ah, star anise.
See, smell this one. This actually smells a bit like fennel.
Oh,
Yeah.
So how did you come up with all of these? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in here.
This is what I'm doing here is a very basic recipe. I mean, and this particular container is a very popular container in a lot of Indian homes. I happen to have these spices in there. A lot of people use what their favorite spices are. So you kind of have it handy and you can cook along as you go.
So you take a little bit of each and you
Yes,
put it in and you mix it up?
exactly.
So what are we going to do next with that?
So this, I've actually toasted this in this little skillet that kind of enhances the flavor. And what you do with it after that is put it in.
We are going to Spice City.
It's a little noisy now.
That's okay. There you go.
My kids know I'm home whenever they hear
When they hear
sounds.
that, they can hear it and they can smell it throughout the house, right?
Yes.
It has a wonderful smell. The aroma is like
Yeah.
out of this world. When you
You
smell
kind
that, you
of
know it's time to eat.
Well, you also know it's getting done as the noise quietens down. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
spices are.
So what kind of dishes would you put this on?
This is a finishing spice, so I mean, you'd put it in something heavily spiced. I personally like to use this over meat dishes, or something like eggplant, or something that's heavier and tomato based.
Oh.
And so the spice blend.
You know what I like? The chicken with the, it's like a orange sauce with the long grain rice.
Yes, I think you're talking about the chicken tikka. That's actually in my spices and
That's in
seasons
there?
book. Yes, yes. And
So
this
this-
is what you kind of get. Yeah.
And you just take a little bit and sprinkle it
You
on the
did,
food?
yes. You can cook with it. You can, even if you're roasting chicken or something like that, you can actually use this as a spice rub.
And it doesn't have to be an Indian dish, right?
No,
You
it
can use
doesn't
with
have
anything.
to be. No.
It'll
no.
kick everything up
yeah.
a notch.
Yeah. If you're really adventurous, you can use it instead of pumpkin pie spice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We got to try that.
You see, spices are a very personal thing. Once you kind of get a relationship with them, you can play with them
So-
exactly as you want.
But there are different spices for different cultures. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But this being said, I think, one shouldn't restrict one's boundaries. If you like a spice, you shouldn't, and you think it goes well with, let's say, Mexican food.
There
That's
you go.
fine.
Now, what do we
Or-
have here?
This is my first cookbook. It's called the Bengali Five Spice Chronicles. This basically talks about the food of the eastern region of India. A lot of this is the food that I've grown up with. A lot of these are recipes I've got from mom, my grandmother, that I've simplified that work for the American kitchen.
Oh, so it's not a secret anymore. When I
No.
open up this book, here's everybody's stuff.
I have a strong fondness for using local produce, so a lot of the recipes also have been adapted to use.
I see influences on vegetarian cuisine. And the spices and recipes in here that you can use. Bengali, the Bengali vegetarian mix here. So you have a wonderful. What made you want to get involved? Oh, it's making me hungry. What made you want to get involved in this? Is it
I
through?
love food. It started a while back. A group of people wanted me to do a cooking class for them. And I got very excited. I liked it very much. Then one thing led to another. I do have my blog, Cooking in Westchester, so a lot of the recipes I started out there. And then I felt, it's nice to sort of put together a book. This one is very much a simple, quick fix approach to home cooking. It has a strong emphasis on produce you find in farmers markets. Some recipes that are mixed up with influences that I've had from whatever life, different things in the city.
Yeah. So do you have an actual place that people can come to experience your spices?
If they call me and I have a home kitchen where I do some of my teaching. I do teaching classes out and about, so the best place to find these classes would be if they checked out my website.
What's your website?
cookinginwestchester.com. And I have a cooking classes tab. So if people check that out, they should be able to, see where I'm teaching.
And can you use a lot of these spices for like natural healings? What's the relationship between the spices
different spices
and
have
healthy eating?
different relationships. I do not actually have turmeric here, but that's this yellow spice. That is probably one of the healthiest spices you will find.
So you would add that in there if somebody has a condition?
It's supposed to be anti-inflammatory. A lot of people into natural healing also feel it helps with cancer. The good thing about trying spices is there's nothing bad with them. It's just a matter of understanding and liking the taste. So if you really feel like the cumin, a lot of people steep this in the morning. They have it, as a natural tea and and it sort of gives you, perks up your metabolism. It's supposed to be good for digestion. It's supposed to soothe the stomach.
Yeah.
But like I say, the good thing about these is, since it's natural, there's nothing bad about it. If you kind of want to play around with it, you can. If you don't like it, that's okay. You know, no harm done.
So I'm going to cook up a dish tonight. Can I take some of this home?
Absolutely,
and just spread it in there
that's
like
all
that?
for you.
Or can I just open up a sandwich and put some of it in there?
It depends on the sandwich.
Or can I add that to my yogurt?
No. But you can add it to your yogurt and marinate something and cook it right up.
So what are you going to use this on tonight? What are you cooking tonight?
I am actually cooking fish tonight.
Oh, okay. So you're going to use some of these spices?
Some of them, yes. I mean, this one, the cumin, is my favorite. I love the star anise because, well, it looks like a star. And the others, I use them. The bay leaf is also...
The bay leaf we didn't talk about. A lot of people use that in many different cultures. That bay leaf.
Yes. A lot of them. The cinnamon's actually a very versatile spice.
What is this one? We didn't talk about this one either.
Well, that is actually called mace. It's the shell of the nutmeg.
Mace?
Mace.
So I can spray this on somebody.
You can try.
Oh, that has a great smell, too.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm hungry. We got to cook up something and put the spice on it.
Okay.
Give her a big round of applause, everybody. Where can we find you again? Are you
cookinginwestchester.com?
cookinginwestchester.com. And she has the Bengali 5 Spice Chronicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got to add 2 more.
No, that's in the other book.
I know. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. This is Rinku Bhattacharya.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll come back with a whole lot more, so stay right there. Thank you so much.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Grooves Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities. To ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give. Advocate.
Volunteer. Live united. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, there's a bunch of DJs out there, and they're doing different things. We have a big team on WBLS, and this young lady, she's out DJing all over the place. We did something together recently, but she's not in this clip right now. Let's take a look at DJ Jazzy J.
It's really interesting when I think about DJ Jazzy J, and I know a lot of people in New York know about him, but don't realize that he's part of the Bias family, and we still have the Biases on St. Helena Island, just a couple miles away from here, down Seaside Road, as well as those that are on Ladies Island, where Jazzy grew up. And so I know back in the day, as folks would say, when he was growing up, there was a lot of differences than what you see today.
First of all, I was
born and raised down there, and for me, it was like, you know, being a country boy that I am, you know, you can take the boy out of the country, but you ain't gonna never take the country out of him, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I always had my upbringing, like, you know, from my grandmother who actually raised me. And of course, I was born in an environment where, you know, we had much family in South Carolina, and everybody treated everybody with utmost respect, you know, whether they didn't have any money or nothing like that. Everybody was still happy in their existence, you know what I'm saying? We lived in little shacks and little, you know, houses that, you know, would probably be deemed subpar at this time, but back then, we was happy with what we had, you know what I'm saying? We lived off the land, you know what I'm saying? I remember my earliest years, you know, just like running around in the fields, you know, barefoot, chasing after chickens, going in the fields, pulling a watermelon out the ground and just kind of like hitting it on the ground till it opens up, and then you just dig in and eat what you want and rest, put it right back down to the earth, you know? And, you know, those are like the best memories I can, you know, just remember, besides just growing up in an environment where, you know, I had so many elders. We had a certain pride about us, you know, we was proud of where we came from and the roots, you know, even though we didn't speak that the Queen's English, as they so speak, you know what I'm saying? Our English was always broken down, and I didn't understand this until when I moved to New York, and then everybody was like looking at me like, what he said? And I thought I was just speaking English, and then, you know, didn't know it was a dialect that was like not really followed by a lot of people outside of Frogmore, Tom Fripp, or, you know, the Gullah Islands over there where I was from. You know, you leave out of there, you go a little bit up north a little bit, you know, a little piece up the road, a little more, whatever, or down yonder. You go down yonder a piece and they wouldn't know what the hell you was talking about. I could be, you know, 3 or 4 years old, wander down the field and end up in somebody else's backyard, and they, oh, that's Miss Eula's grandson. You know, I end up in Miss Mary's yard, or down Coosaw Road, and they're like, oh, ain't that so-and-so? And they'll grab me up and deliver me back to my grandmother, whatever the deal is. But it was a whole neighborhood, not even a neighborhood, it was a whole tribe. And then that was the ideology, you know, from our original ideology. It takes a whole tribe to raise a child. Granny was like more or less, you know, the local witch doctor, you know, and she wasn't, you know, by herself. These were remedies that were passed down, you know, through the times, because, you know, you didn't go to the store and get no Bear aspirins or some Andersons or some Tylenol. When you got sick, you know what I'm saying, they had the old world remedies, you know what I'm saying. They'd go out in the fields and grab some leaves from this tree, and, you know, they knew exactly what to grab, what to mix it with, and they'd mix up a batch of some nasty tasting whatever it was. But you know what, after you took that and you did your thing, you felt a lot better. You know what I'm saying? People lived down there to be, you know, 80 and 90 years in a time, 90 years old in a time when people were dying at the age of 50s and 60s and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And in general, like, people down there, because we lived off of the land and a lot of the stuff wasn't filled with a lot of, you know, a lot of chemicals and steroids or whatever the deal was, you know what I'm saying? People ate a lot better because of the fact that you raised and you ate from the land. So a lot of people migrated from the South. They always ended up in Harlem first. So that's where we ended up. We ended up in Harlem. That was, you know, my introduction to the city life, and at a young age. But then I found out when I got to New York, I had a whole host of cousins, and, you know, they were all my age, and we kind of all grew up together like a little mob. You know what I'm saying? It was just a mob. But back in those days, you know, black folks was making a lot of babies back in the 60s. So it wasn't until like some years later that you know, we would have to leave Harlem because they had a devastating fire in the building. We got relocated to some sort of like little shelter situation at that time. There for a while, then that's when we got relocated to the place that would kind of set the tone for the person named Jazzy J. When I moved From there, we moved to 174th Street and Harriet Avenue, Bronx River Projects. When I was in Harlem, I knew about the Black Spades because, you know, the gangs they were there, but it wasn't as evident to me because of the fact that, you know, the gangs were, you know, we lived in tenement buildings, and, you know, the gangs were scattered, like some people lived on some blocks, blah, blah, blah. They would all get together and, you know, maybe in the park, Riverside Park or whatever the deal is, and then, you know, do they, blah, 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 their business, and, you know, you see them with the colors, but they wouldn't gather. Now, when you go to Bronx River, the gangs were all right there in the project, so you couldn't help but to see all of that. And now, I'm going to the Bronx with my South Carolina demeanor, which is like, you know, we don't take no from nobody. We from the country, and we will whip your tail. All right. Then I got my Harlem demeanor, man. I'll kick your from Harlem, USA, baby. You know, Harlem, we don't play. This is Harlem, USA. You know what I'm saying? I get to the Bronx and I start talking to this right away. I'm Harlem signifying, yeah, you know, shit, Harlem born, baby, you know, Harlem, USA, you know what I'm saying? Timothy Cooper hauled off and yammed me right in the face. Boom! Like, wow, didn't see that one coming. Yo, you in the Bronx now. I was like, okay, maybe I should just tone this Harlem thing down a little bit. At least stop down in the Bronx and start getting with the program since I do live here now.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Welcome back, everybody. We're warming it up, getting it ready. We got the bounce going on. We want you to bounce a little bit with us. Matter of fact, you can put a mat down on the floor if you want to, or just stand there if you got a rug. We're gonna get involved in it. I've just got a little bounce going. It feels good just to do this. All right, our next guest is a certified trainer. He is Tracy Knott. He's all over the place doing his thing, getting people in shape, and he joins us today with a small group circuit workout. We welcome you once again to the show.
What's up? Yeah.
So you have the dumbbells in your hands, everybody.
And I also have the kettlebells.
The kettlebells?
Yes.
Okay, who do you have with you today?
Well, these guys, this is a great story where I run my daily classes up in White Plains.
Yeah.
And my classes usually with a lot of women. Guys sometimes they a little thick-headed. They don't think they need help.
Yeah.
But these guys came to my class and they weren't ashamed at all. They were doing it, but they struggled like everyone else did.
Yeah.
You know, so but they were
struggle
working,
in the beginning.
Yes, but they work hard. But then they were doing something that I really love. I love to see people just go hard, and they show a lot of endurance. So I come to find out that they also play soccer. For people that don't know, soccer players are really good shape. Yeah. And I spoke to him. I said, listen, you know, I have a little program. But I have a lot of them, but I said we would fit these guys really well, which is the small group circuit training that we're about to do now. A lot of times people, when it comes to working out, they think it's just about going to the gym, lifting certain weights. But sometimes you don't have the time, so you need to do something where you're going to hit every single muscle.
Yeah.
And I showed it to them, and these guys love it. So.
And the important thing, there's a lot of cardio involved in it, a
know
lot of running involved in soccer.
That's
I used to play soccer. I know.
Yeah, so of
So
course.
what are we going to do today?
Well, we're going to do just a little 3 bits and pieces of my part of the program. We're going to do a little warm-up, which consists of just going to have your feet moving and use the dumbbells as we punch.
All right, let's rock it.
All right, I know you like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll do something when it involves the core, which I love.
The core
That's
takes
right.
care of the rest.
And then lastly, we'll do a part of another thing with the core too, and also with the ab workout using the kettlebells.
All right, let's do it. Tracy Knott, everybody, working it out.
We ready, DJ? Put it up loud, baby. Get ready, fellas. Put it up in here.
What's that on that beat?
Ha! Noise. Work. Yeah. Work. 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 Go up. Go here. Work. 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 And punch it here. Work. Work. Louder. Work. 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 Go up. Go here. Work. 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 And punch it here. Work. 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 Clap it up, baby. Clap it up. Now keep the dumbbells. Keep the dumbbells. Next one we're gonna do involves the core. So fellas, get in position. DJ, we ready, baby. Go. Ha! Get it. Ha! Work. 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 Switch it up. Let's go. Ha! Work. 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 Both hands, let's get it. Ha. Work. 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 Hold it, baby. Go. Ha. Break it down. It's always off the chain, man. When I'm around, I play the block pumping. It was all for the day. I get the club jumping. Cause I'm sick with the flow. You know it's so loud. Like wherever I go, I take back the show, man. That's for sure. I got the info, you already know. Man, I get it poppin'. Hold it, baby. Everybody show me love. Let's go. You know I got what it takes to make the club go out of control. Good man, turn the music up a little bit. Bounce with me now. Hold it, baby. One hand. Let's get it. Ha. Work. Work. What it takes to make the club go out of control. Work. Good man, turn the music up a little bit. Clap it up, baby. Clap it up. Get these kettlebells, baby. We missing. Get the other one over there. Last one, we're going to use our kettlebells. Involves your whole body. You ready, fellas? Ready, DJ? Let's get it. Ha! Get it! Ha! Work! Ha! Work! Work! One hand, let's get it! Ha! Work! 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 Switch it up, let's go! Ha! Work! 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 Put it across, baby! Let's go! Ha! Work! 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 Switch it up! Ha! Work! 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 Ground it, baby, ground it. Get ready. Right here. Let's get it, go. Here. Ha! Work! 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 To the side, let's go. Ha! Work! Back. Work! 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 Put a swing on it here. Ha! Work! 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 Good job, baby. Work, everybody. Yeah.
Throw your hands high in
Here
the
we
air.
go.
Wave 'em around like you just don't care, like a Ginger Rogers and a Fred Astaire. Let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tracy Knott, everybody, give him another big round of applause.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
And my money on my mind. That was very good.
Thank you, thank
That was
you.
good. How do you guys feel? Feel good? Feel good? Bueno.
You picked up on it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was
But
messing
let me
around.
just
I was your
explain.
background dancer when you were
I
doing
saw
that.
you. But
Yeah.
these guys here, I want to tell you something. Another thing, too, there was a little language barrier with us. But here's the thing. When it comes to getting in shape, I mean, they come to
It's
me.
universal.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. If everybody knows, you come to me with some energy, I take care of the rest. And that's what we do. I mean, they love it, you know, just like everyone else. So.
You speak a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English? Yeah. 107.5 WBLS. Sofrito, sabor. Sabor. Spice. So, you're in the park.
I'm everywhere, baby. I'm in Van Cortlandt. I'm up in White Plains. I have something every single day. Numerous programs. There's no way you shouldn't be coming to be to get in shape.
How does this help out? You bring your wife sometime, your girlfriends?
This guy brought his whole family.
You brought the whole family in?
My wife, my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, start doing it.
And then you get home, you got to get in the kitchen because you got to. I mean, you got to eat good too. When you're working out, you got to eat well. Yeah. You should come on in. No more. Say it again.
No more tortillas.
Just a little bit, poquito.
A little bit, like 1 or 2. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Like before, I want to eat like 8 or 10. So now
Yeah.
I want to.
But the guacamole's good. Avocado.
With chips and like
So, but everything in moderation. You can go back to eat a little bit because you're working out now.
Yes. Listen, like I always.
Metabolism is different.
What I always say too is that when it comes to people, when it comes with the diet, your biggest meal is breakfast, and you go downhill from there.
Yeah.
Because what it is that you have a big meal in the morning, you have all day to burn it off.
Yeah.
The old traditional way of having a steak and potatoes for dinner is silly because you're about to go to bed in like an hour or 2 hours, and it's going to turn into fat sitting in your system.
All right. Can we do one more? I'm going to take us home. Vince, you drop a
No,
beat.
put the last one on, and he can get the kettlebells,
But
and
I'm
then we'll
going to
go.
say this. Unfortunately, that's
Here.
all the time we have for today's show. But
Let's go, man.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, our viewer, for tuning in and checking it all out. If you missed any part of today's show, well, you can tune in to the recablecast of Open at 5 and 10 p.m. or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org, or you can catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 a.m. with Darren Jaime. I'll catch you over 107.5 WBLS tonight at 12, and then out in the morning with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. We love you all. Peace.
Ha! Get that. Get that. Hey, look. Get it.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS. And when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee. It's Open on BronxNet. I never miss it.